NFL Power Rankings Week 13, our top 10 teams of Week 13. And number 10, I got the Cardinals. I mean, after losing to the Patriots, I had to drop them down.
Oh. You were starting at 10.
Yeah, the Cardinals.
I was so confused.
I had to drop them down after losing to the Patriots. I mean, they beat the Patriots in nearly every category and still lost. They're the 10th best team in the NFL right now.
It pains me to put this team in because, like you said, I am not high on them at all. But just because of the success they had, I had to put them at 10, the Cleveland Browns. I don't think that they belong in the top 10 in the NFL. I think that there are some teams that were left out that deserve this spot more. But based on what they've shown, I went with the Browns.
The 9th best team is the Los Angeles Rams. Like I said, they lost to the 49ers, and after you lose a game like that you're supposed to win, you got to drop down in the power rankings. The Rams got to find a way to figure out. They got to finish off the season strong, and I got them at 9. I think their offense is really holding them back right now.
I went with the Seahawks at 9, and the reason I went with the Seahawks at 9 is because I trust them very much to beat the Eagles tonight. If they don't, my list would be different, but I am operating under the assumption that they win tonight, and I'm putting them at 9.
The 8th ranked team to me is the Miami Dolphins. I think you got to put them ahead of the Cardinals and the Rams, especially since they beat both those teams. I think they're a step below my 7th ranked team. The Dolphins still got a top 10 offense, I believe, and a top 10 defense. They have actually the second best ranked defense in terms of points allowed. So I think the Dolphins are for real, and they're a surprise team this year.
I went with the Colts at number 8. It was a tough loss, but again, without DeForest Buckner, that defense is totally different, and especially against Derrick Henry, you can't say how much that loss really hurt them. So I did not dock them as much as I normally would for that loss. I kept them at 8.
My number 7th ranked team is the Seattle Seahawks. I think they're finally starting to figure out that defense. They're starting to communicate better. Jamal Adams has been criminally underrated this season. I think the Seahawks are the 7th best team in the league, and I think that's their floor. In the coming weeks, I think they're gonna move even higher.
At number 7, I went with the Titans. As much as I didn't dock the Colts for that loss, I gave the Titans credit for beating a team that they should have beat. And even without DeForest Buckner, it's still a very good Colts team. There was no slouch of a game. So I give them credit for going out and getting that win. And I think that they're starting to figure things out a little bit more as of late, where they had that little lull in the middle of the season. I think they're starting to turn it up a little bit, especially Derrick Henry.
And my 6th ranked team is the Buffalo Bills. I mean, they beat the Seahawks, so I got to put them above them. I think the Buffalo Bills are a team to watch for, even though they still don't have a running game. Sometimes Devin Singletary comes in and does his thing, so does Zach Moss, but it's not consistent enough for me. That is a major hole, but their defense has been playing better. They're figuring it out. They're looking more like that Buffalo Bills defense of last year than they are at the beginning of this year. So I got them at 6.
Yeah, I put the Bucs at 6. I agonized over this because I don't think that they're I don't think they're at 6th talent-wise in the league, but based on what we've seen with their inconsistencies, I docked them maybe a little bit more than I would have liked to, but I have them at 6. And I think that they will end up higher than that come playoff time, but for now.
Okay, so for my 5th ranked team, I have the Tampa Bay Bucs. I think the Bucs, even though they haven't been playing well against the better teams, they dominated the Packers, and communication is still a major problem. Once they figure that out, they're going to look like probably the best team in the NFL outside of the Chiefs, and people just have to be patient with the Bucs. In the regular season, they might not be outstanding, but be patient. They're going to show what they can do.
Yeah, at number 5, we had a flip-flop. I went with the Bills at 5. I think for a lot of reasons you said, Josh Allen is showing that he's pretty legit, and we doubted him to begin the season, but he has really turned it up this season. The defense has been good, and I just think all around they've looked like a really solid team top to bottom. So I went Bills at 5.
Okay, my 4th ranked team is the Tennessee Titans. I think that win against the Colts was a great win. So I got them at 4. Their running game is starting to look like the running game in the playoffs last year. Derrick Henry's getting back to form. Ryan Tannehill's playing amazing. Their defense is getting better. I got them at 4.
I went, and again, this is a team that I don't necessarily feel great about at the spot that I put them, but I worked from the bottom up, and the Packers ended up at 4 in my power rankings. I think a lot of it has to do with Aaron Rodgers and the way that offense has looked. I still don't trust the defense necessarily, but coming off a couple solid weeks, and a good win last night, obviously, beating up on a team they deserve to beat up on, but they look good. I put the Packers at 4.
My third best team is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Even though they've been dominant this season, they haven't done it against great competition. And even when they face the Ravens, they're not going to be fully there. So I got the Steelers at 3. I think their offense still limits them a lot, but we'll see what happens these coming weeks.
Yeah, I put the Saints at 3. I think that, like I said, they're the best team in the NFC. That defense, as much as they can be slightly inconsistent, they're a great unit. And the offense without Drew Brees is different, but they've still been okay without him for the past 2 weeks. Granted, not great competition. They need Drew Brees to come back if they want to be, or Jameis Winston to come in and fill the shoes of Drew Brees if they want to be the team they can be. So I have them at 3.
The number 2 ranked team is the New Orleans Saints. I think based off where they are right now, they're a step above the Steelers, especially after dominating the Bucs like that. I don't think the Steelers would have done that to the Bucs. The Saints have had some really impressive performances, so I'm going with them at 2. And that's with Taysom Hill. If Taysom Hill is not there, if it's Drew Brees, I don't think I'd put them over the Chiefs, but they're still at 2. They are a lock to probably finish as the second best team in the league.
I went with, obviously, the Steelers at 2, at 10-0. They've been deadlocked in this spot, and if it wasn't for the Chiefs, spoilers, if it wasn't for the Chiefs being the greatest offense that I've probably ever seen, they would be at number 1. But, like you mentioned, the competition hasn't been great, and I've just been more impressed by the Chiefs than I have the Steelers, so I have them at 2.
Yeah. Then number 1, no surprise to anybody, the Kansas City Chiefs are the best team in the NFL currently. I mean, they're great defensively. They're great offensively. And the question now is just what team can stop them. I don't think any team can stop them. It's looking like they're going to 2-peat.
Yeah, it goes without saying. I also went with the Chiefs at 1. I think that they are the clear, far and away favorites to win. And as much as I said the competition in the league has been good this year, I just think the Chiefs are so much better than anyone else. And people have called me crazy for it, but I don't see anybody in the league that can stop that offense while also scoring on that defense that's been pretty underrated. It's a really good unit, probably a top 10 unit in the league. So I don't see anybody getting through them.
So this does it for our week 13 power rankings, top 10 teams in the NFL. Tell us who your top 10 list is in the comments below. Hey, what's up, guys? You just finished watching a clip of the Pick Aside podcast. My name is Joel Moran.
My name is Jack Barteck.
My name is River Brown.
And we are your hosts for this podcast. We want to thank you guys for watching the clip. Like, subscribe, and comment, and share if you would care to, because it helps us grow. We're trying to make this a full-time thing. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting, and see you next time.